What makes a student independent for FAFSA purposes so that parent information is not needed on the form? Hi everyone, I'm Tina Steele, the FAFSA Guru, and be sure to give me a follow for all things financial aid. This is one of the most common questions I get from parents is how can they make their dependent student an independent student so that they do not need to provide their information on the FAFSA? Because in a lot of cases with parents' income being higher, it really hurts the student in terms of how much financial aid they can get. So one of the questions I usually ask is, can we have our student file their own taxes and claim themselves and take them off our taxes so that they are not dependent? And unfortunately, no, that does not matter. There is a series of dependency questions the FAFSA asks in order to determine whether or not a student is dependent or independent. In order for a student to fill out the FAFSA without parent information, as an independent student, they must answer yes to at least one of the following questions. The first question is, were you born before January 1st, 2002? The next question is, are you married? Or do you have children that live with you and that you provide more than half support for? Are you a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces? At any time since you turned 13 years old, were you an orphan? Were both of your parents deceased? Or were you a ward of the court or in foster care? Does somebody other than your parents or step-parents have legal guardianship of you as determined by a court of law? Will you be a graduate or professional student? So that means, do you have a bachelor's degree? Once you earn a bachelor's degree, you're no longer considered dependent for FAFSA purposes. Are you or were you a legally emancipated minor as determined by a court of law? And then lastly, does somebody other than your parents or step-parents have legal guardianship of you as determined by a court of law? So if you can answer yes to any one of these questions, then you can be considered independent and do not need your parent information on the FAFSA. There's really no other way around it unless you meet one of those definitions. In certain extreme circumstances where there's a situation of abuse and the student cannot have contact with parents or something like that, I would encourage you to reach out directly to the college financial aid office and ask them if there's anything that can be done. College financial aid offices do have the ability to do something that's called professional judgment and make a dependent student independent. However, this does not happen very often, and there usually has to be some extreme circumstances for the estrangement and that can be documented by professionals. So I wouldn't rely on that. I hope you found this video helpful, and to learn more about the programs and services I provide, be sure to visit my website, thefafsaguru.com. And if you happen to be a rising high school senior or parent of a rising high school senior class of 2026, be sure to check out my Financial Aid Academy. Registration is now open. This is my signature program I run every single year to help guide students and their parents through the overwhelming and confusing financial aid process and help them get the best financial aid offers possible. I also offer a 30-day financial aid boot camp along with individual consulting services for anything that you need help with related to financial aid. Again, you can learn more by going to my website, thefafsaguru.com. Thanks so much for watching.